To begin with my first work in progress video, I want to discuss Daniel Koi, a 2007 TV anime series which presents an ancient town of Japan in the 2020s with the presence of AR in the form of cyber glass, where people can interact with each other in a virtual cyberspace. The show explores the clash between extremely advanced technology and very old-fashioned setting. The old city, the shrine, Mega Bar herself, even the cyber devices are designed as ancient superstitious tags. It also has nostalgic power with the use of earth colors reminiscent of distant childhood memory. More importantly, it imagines how technology would interact with old Japanese culture. For example, a circle is considered a religious symbol, so when users draw and step inside a circle, the code would stop that entry of technology into this space. This shows respect to the traditions and cultures of Japan, suggesting that AR should not interfere with the religious world. This animation has raised interesting questions about the relationship between technology and traditions, and the coexistence of virtual world and religious world. It inspires me to take a step back, look into the evolution of AR, and reimagine AR and its nature. What if AR is not American-centered and designed to make money, but were discovered by Vietnamese? In the past, what interesting things would have happened if it were designed to only support culture and religious beliefs? In the first 2 weeks of the studio, I have been focusing on developing my ideas, conceptualize them, to form an inquiry by making multiple mind maps, mood boards, and reading research papers. The first mind map was made to introduce a general inquiry and ideas about the relationship between culture and globalization, inspired by my trip to Vietnam after 3 years away from home. The city where I grew up, Saigon, has changed so much since my childhood, and along with modernization and convenience comes with the loss of cultural identity and aura, which creates a strong sense of nostalgia for me as an avid Saigon lover. I keep wondering why people feel the need to look and be like something we're not, and at the same time appreciating the impressive economic growth the city has achieved since globalization happens. As a young generation Vietnamese, I want to address the issue of maintaining culture balance and respect to ancient traditional heritage, and the importance of cultural heritage preservation in the digital era. As a mixed reality and interaction designer, I wonder how I could harness technology, such as AR, to raise awareness to my target audience, and also make an impact in the field of critical arts and digital heritage. Starting off with a general idea and a passion, I was bouncing ideas with my mentors, Carlo, Moon, and Jeremy, and a lot of themes and new directions have emerged from those conversations. First idea emerged from the conversation with Carlo that is related to a theme that I have encountered in my bachelor degree, aura in the work of art in the age of digital reproduction. According to Walter Benjamin, aura is a core quality of art which refers to the uniqueness of art. In the past, art has aura in its owing to its limited audience and the absence of identical copies. The aura has been lost now because the original art is available everywhere in the form of its authentic, identical copies. Inspired by this concept, an idea about cloud-based AR system where multiple users can have access to view the AR work. Each time someone has access to it, it will look different. For example, shapes, colors, materials, textures, other values that can be modified. From the first viewer, the object will start to degrade, and as users want to manipulate the art and touch it, things will become weird and unrecognizable. This idea is interesting because it indirectly refers to the issue of art being used as a tool of manipulation by politicians and the capitalists for achieving their desired aims. Conversation with Moon is interesting in the way we both resonate with the sad feelings, seeing cultural loss, and feel strongly since we share a common background. There are interesting points being made, including how our generations adjust ourselves to adapt to the new world coming, but unconsciously don't realize that we also adjust our authenticity to fit with the global trends and standards. Culture can also be a living object being reshaped once the user, as tourists, touches and modifies based on the understanding of their background. The keywords would consist of cultural respect, honors, and traditions. The theme relates to globalization, can also be a comparison between past and present, or present a timeline that makes us realize the exact time that we lose something important in our cultural identity. This work can be seen in a work of Culture Explorer done by Moonlight and Tâm Cộng. An AR app helps users approach information and fun facts about venues all over Vietnam and see the differences between present and past. As Vietnamese people abroad, we tend to treasure the old things and don't welcome changes when we come back, which raises the theme of nostalgia. The nostalgic sense is commonly conveyed in Japanese anime. Whose artists love the old version of Japan they always hold dear to their hearts. This theme possibly leads to an inquiry of how an exploration of nostalgia can be achieved through the making of this object, or how the issue of loss and emotions can be conveyed in AR. Another direction to explore is the theme of context, which allows me to recontextualize the cultural objects in different contexts, which for example is thinking about how we all generally wear the same fashion items in the modern world generates an interesting question in terms of context. What if a traditional costume of Vietnam were used as daily, comfortable outfit essentials in the West? If so, why are we doing the opposite now? The most interesting theme is speculative fiction, which is inspired by the related word Daniel Coyle that I have explored in the beginning of this video. By doing this, I could take a step back and reimagine AR in different nature, like taste, smell, instead of screen. What are the purposes that AR serve if it was born in a different country and not designed to make money in a capitalist space? What if AR were designed in the ancient times to celebrate cultural and social rituals instead? What if AR were given to a Vietnamese born in the 80s, and what would they do with it? These are mind-bending questions that allow me to not only recontextualize but also reimagine reality and create my own fiction using AR as a medium to achieve that. The next stage of my progress would include looking closer and inspect an aspect of culture that gets affected and modified, then recontextualize the tradition in different setting, or reimagine different outcome of that part of culture that I would like to inspect. Thank you for watching.